Welcome back, class 10, your civics class. Today, we are going to study about categories of ministers. Generally, there are three kinds or three categories of ministers, namely cabinet ministers, ministers of states, and deputy ministers. Now, let me start. All ministers do not usually belong to the same rank. Usually, there are three types of cabinet ministers. Three types of ministers, namely cabinet ministers, minister of state, and deputy ministers. What are or who are the cabinet ministers? Cabinet ministers. To the first category belong to the cabinet ministers who hold major portfolios. Portfolios means offices like Home Ministry, Defense Ministry, Finance Ministry, External Affairs, Ministry of External Affairs, Railway Ministry. Very important offices. The cabinet ministers, they hold those offices. So only cabinet ministers have the right to attend in the meetings of the cabinet. They together determine the policy and programs of the government. So, who are the cabinet ministers? The cabinet ministers are the important ministers who have the responsibility of the most important ministry departments of the government. Railway, finance, defense. These are all under the cabinet ministers. Number one. And number two, cabinet meetings. The cabinet meetings can only be attended by the cabinet ministers. Second comes the Ministry of State. They are not the members of the cabinet. They may or may not be given independent charge of a ministry. So ministers of state are not cabinet ministers. They can have an individual ministry or they cannot have an individual ministry. They do not participate in the cabinet meetings. Obviously, they do not participate. But they may be invited to attend meetings when matters concerning their departments are being concerned. So, what happens is, generally, the minister of state don't attend any cabinet meetings, but they can be called in such cabinet meetings where their departments are involved. So understood, when a department of a minister of a state is involved, then they can be called in the cabinet meeting, otherwise they will not be called. Now, number three, deputy ministers. They are junior ministers. Who are they? They are junior ministers and are placed under senior ministers whom they can assist. They are junior ministers placed under senior ministers whom they can assist. They take no part in cabinet deliberations. In cabinet deliberations and cabinet meetings, the deputy ministers, they don't take part. These are the categories of ministers. Now comes tenure of office. The Constitution says that ministers shall hold office during the pleasure of the President. In fact, the Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the House of the People. The Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to the House of People. In Lok Sabha, the Council of Ministers are collectively responsible. Therefore, what does it mean? Therefore, the President cannot dismiss a Prime Minister as long he or she enjoys the majority of the House. Okay? Now, as far as the other ministers are concerned, they will be dismissed by the President on Prime Minister's advice. If any minister, any council minister of the council is to be dismissed, the President will dismiss him or her on the advice of the Prime Minister. He cannot on his own do it. Now comes Salaries and allowances. Salaries and allowances of ministers shall be such as determined by the Parliament from time to time. The Parliament will determine it from time to time. Each minister is entitled to a constituency allowance at the same rate as to be specified with the respect of MPs. Besides, sumptuary allowances is paid to each minister. So, their allowances will be determined by the Parliament. They are entitled constituency allowances. Each constituency, minister of separate constituency will get their allowance. Moreover, they will get sumptuary allowance is also paid. They are paid nicely, so there is nothing to worry. Cabinet Committee. The Prime Minister and the Cabinet function with the help of committees. There are different committees which are formed which functions along with the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. There are committees such as Defence Committee who advises the Cabinet. They are specialized in the Defence Committee, specialized person from Army, Air Force and the Navy, they form that committee. Foreign Affairs, IAS officers, they form that committee. Political Affairs Committee, Economic Affairs Committee, Policy Planning Committee. These are all committees, those who help the Prime Minister. Prime Minister cannot form the policy on his own. He needs the help of different specialized persons from different fields. These specialized persons from different forms, different committees. The committees are decision-making bodies. Prime Minister is the chairman of some of the important committees. Now we'll learn about the distinction, that means the difference between the Council of Ministers and the Cabinet. The term ministry and the Cabinet are often used as interchangeable terms. The Cabinet here means the Council. Cabinet here means the Council consisting of the Prime Minister and other ministers' rank. We have to distinguish between the Cabinet and the Council of Ministers. Now, Council of Ministers, number one. Council of Ministers consists of all categories of ministers, including Cabinet, Minister of States and Deputy. Council of Ministers have three categories. But Cabinet, on the other hand, is a smaller group consisting 25 senior ministers. Thus, all cabinet members are ministers, but all ministers are not cabinet members. Understood? Number two, we are differentiating between Council of Ministers and the Cabinet. Cabinet is under the Council of Ministers, but all members of the Council of Ministers are not in the Cabinet. Clear it out. Number two, in the day-to-day working of the government, the Council of Ministers as a whole rarely meets. The Cabinet, on the other hand, are cohesive. Cohesive means connected group of senior ministers who meet frequently as possible. They together determine the policy. Obviously, the Cabinet they have to meet frequently because every day perhaps they have to meet because they make the most important decisions of the country, for which a country can go to doldrums or country can improve. Okay, now, third, the Cabinet ministers attend meetings of the Cabinet in their own right. Ministers of State can attend only if they are invited. Deputy ministers or junior ministers are not allowed to attend. So this is also another difference. Fourth difference is, the Constitution says that there shall be a Council of Ministers to aid and advise the President in the exercise of his function. In fact, President is to act on the advice of the Cabinet in all the matters. Okay? Fifth, Council of Ministers as a whole rarely meets. It is the Cabinet ministers who are consulted by the Prime Minister for the information and advice whatever he needs. So, what can we conclude? We can conclude that the Cabinet is an inner body within the Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers is a shell. There are three categories inside. The most important is the Cabinet, then comes the Ministers of State, then comes the Deputy Ministers. So council of ministers, an inner body within the council. The cabinet is the inner body within the council of ministers. It acts in the name of council of ministers and exercises all powers on its behalf. Understood? Cabinet is the inner body within the council of ministers. It is the most important or the policy making body, and it exercises all the powers on its behalf. So in the next class, we will study about the powers and functions of Council of Ministers, which includes formulating policy of the government, administrative functions, coordination in the functions of various ministries, financial functions, legislative functions, diplomatic links with the other nations, proclamation of emergency. So proclamation of emergency, diplomatic links, legislative functions, financial functions, coordination of the ministries, and various other administrative functions, whatever important powers and functions of the Council of Ministers, we will study in the next class. That is all for today. We have categorically understood the various categories of ministers, their salaries, their allowances, their tenure, and very, very importantly, the distinction or difference between the Council of Ministers and the Cabinet. So that is all for today. Thank you.